What's going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Dan Taylor from DanThePixarFan.com here, and I'm so amped up for today's video, and I hope you all are just as excited. So this here is the start of my series of long-awaited reviews detailing Mattel's brand new Pixar Featured Favorites collection. Some of the figures are finally just starting to come out, and the first one I have here today to share is Linguini, along with Remy Emile from one of my all-time favorite Pixar films, Ratatouille. I also have the Finding Nemo set, which will be my next video, so stay tuned. So I first revealed this Pixar Featured Favorites line here on my channel clear back in August and kind of gave a little overview of what it's all about. But if you missed that, just to reiterate, this line is yet another subcategory of Mattel's Pixar Core 7-inch scale action figure collection, which also includes the categories like Pixar Interactables, Toy Story True Talkers, the Pixar Spotlight series, as well as some others. Now, this new Featured Favorites category essentially falls kind of like right in the middle between Mattel's core $10 Pixar 7-inch scale figures and Mattel's more premium collector $40 Pixar Spotlight series figures, which are also in the 7-inch scale. These Featured Favorites figures are at a $20 price point and give Mattel the chance to finally release or feature some unexpected fan favorite Pixar characters from older films that are perhaps a little less marketable to kids right now, or maybe they just wouldn't really fit in with the kid-centered $10 figures. And also they're able to provide more storytelling accessories than the basic figures, and add a bit more detail and articulation than they normally would. So yeah, this line is definitely geared toward slightly older kids and adult collectors like myself, but still fits in perfectly with all the rest of Mattel's 7-inch scale Pixar figures from the different categories over the last few years. When it comes down to it, now that I'm kind of talking through things, the general idea or strategy of these Featured Favorites figures is really more or less the same idea as the Pixar Spotlight series, just at a more affordable mass market price point. Anyway, I really love the packaging here with this line. It's so tastefully done. Everything included is presented beautifully. And then moving on, the back of the package here is also clean, it's simple, it's laid out well with excellent shots of the figures, and visual callouts to all the included accessories. Of course, it also shows here what other characters are part of this first wave of Featured Favorites figures, so expect to see Russell from Up, Buzz as Mrs. Nesbit from Toy Story, and a 3-pack of Nemo, Marlin, and Dory from Finding Nemo very soon as well. And then the next Featured Favorites figures set to be released after these will be Bing Bong from Inside Out, Crush and Squirt from Finding Nemo, Flick and Dot from A Bug's Life, Mike and Celia from Monsters Inc., and more, so be sure to check out my previous Toy News videos for my reveals of those. So yeah, we got this nice rendered image of Linguini and Remy there on the side, along with the Pixar logo, and back to the front. Okay, well, I think that about covers it as far as my initial thoughts on the overall line and packaging, so what do you say we crack this box open and take a detailed look at the figures themselves and all the included accessories? Alright, so of course the figures just slide right on out on the blister there, and here they are looking awesome, I can tell already. First though, and this is amazing, I just noticed that the backdrop image of the iconic Gusto's kitchen is removable, which is so cool. I'm so happy about that, since this makes for a perfect background to display your figures against if you're an out-of-the-box collector, and or an excellent backdrop for some toy photography as well if you're into that. I know that this will come in handy for me for sure, so I'm all about it. Kudos to Mattel for this simple yet useful feature for us collectors. And here is Linguini completely removed from the box. We're gonna go ahead and start with him since he's the main figure here, and he looks perfection, guys. What can I say? Mattel is just getting better and better with these figures, and I can't imagine another figure of this character looking more spot on than this, seriously. Okay, now let's go ahead and check out all his articulation points. His head, as usual, can rotate 360 degrees. He's got ball-jointed arms at the shoulders there, as pretty much expected at this point with this line, which of course does offer a nice range of posability. Same goes for the elbows. They can bend and rotate, so that's great. And as far as his wrists, they can also rotate all the way around. And there's even some added flexion there, which is so awesome. That will really come in handy when posing this figure out holding his accessories, whether for display or for photography. And of course, it probably goes without saying, but this all applies to Linguini's opposite side as well. Next, he has 360-degree rotation at the waist. Oh, and here I just wanted to give you a quick glimpse underneath his shoes, just to cover it all. And then check it out, he even has a removable apron, which is something I didn't expect. So let's go ahead and remove that so we can check out his leg articulation in better detail. There we go, it's very easy to undo there. The apron is more of a rubbery material, naturally. Now, right off the bat, I can tell you the only main detail missing here is that his pants should be checkered instead of plain brown, but that's forgivable. But now, as far as articulation, the legs can move up and back and outward. His knees can bend and rotate. And finally, his ankles can rotate 360 degrees as well. So wow, this figure looks to have 16 points of articulation, which is pretty outstanding, I do have to say. Okay, so now I'm gonna get the apron back on real quick and check out my favorite feature here, which is his removable chef's hat, or toque. First though, I just wanted to give you a closer rotated look at Linguini from all angles here, especially the hair. Mattel got his curly locks and reddish brown color just right. Really, the whole head sculpt is extremely well done. And check this out, his hat is not only removable, which is so appreciated in its own right. I'm so glad Mattel made that possible, but it's also slightly translucent so that when you do add Remy underneath here, you can subtly see little Chef's silhouette. I just think that is too cool, and my Chef's hat goes off to whoever at Mattel that came up with this little gimmick. I absolutely love it. Now, before I show that feature in action, I just wanted to show off Remy here first. This is a real nice little figure slash accessory. He doesn't have any articulation, but he does have a good likeness to the character overall, and I love that they included him wearing his little chef's hat. Okay, now let's add Remy inside the hat here so you can see exactly what I was talking about. I found it the easiest to just put Remy in first and then insert the hat into the holes. This was easier than trying to balance Remy on Linguini's head while putting on the hat. Anyway, how neat does this look? I just love it. And I feel that the hat is clear enough so that you can only see Remy in there very subtly, but it's also solid enough where it doesn't look too see-through when Linguini is on display without Remy in there. What do you guys think of this feature? I just think it's really clever, really unique and creative, something we haven't ever seen in a Linguini figure before, but you let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Alright, moving on to the rest of the accessories. Here's the copper soup pot that Remy and Linguini used to make their famous soup. A simple but nice accessory to have for world building. And then we have the also very iconic Anyone Can Cook cookbook, which is the first time I believe we've ever gotten this in a small action figure scale. It looks awesome, and I love how Mattel continues to utilize printing technology for details like the front of the book here, instead of relying on paper stickers or even paint, which can wear off or peel off over time. Oh, and though it may kind of look like it, the book cannot open. Next up is a very exciting wooden spoon. Oh, it's plastic, but you know what I mean. But yeah, what's a pot for soup without a spoon to stir it? So of course this had to be included. And lastly, we have Remy's brother Emile, looking adorable and holding a piece of cheese, which seems natural for him. Of course he's eating here, it just makes sense for the character. And while Remy doesn't have any articulation, Emile here does. His head can rotate a full 360 degrees, which was a pleasant surprise. And now I just wanted to show you just how well Linguini can hold and interact with all his included accessories. He can hold the spoon real well. He can hold the spoon while stirring the soup. Look at that. He can taste the soup. Looks absolutely delicious. He can hold the spoon and the cookbook. He can hold Remy. What do you know? He can hold the spoon and Remy, like so. He can hold Emile. So yeah, you can achieve all these ways to play and display and so many more, but I just wanted to give you an idea. Some figures honestly don't always work too well with all their accessories, but everything here has really impressed me. Now the last thing I wanted to do here was share this comparison of the new Mattel Featured Favorites Linguini on the left to the 2007 Disney Store Talking Linguini figure on the right. I think both are really solid in their own ways. There are pros and cons to both, I suppose. For example, I like how the Disney Store version has some weathering details on his outfit. He can talk, and he has his more movie-accurate checkered pants. But on the flip side, I like how the Featured Favorites version has a removable hat, and probably has an all-around better, or at least more appealing face sculpt now that I'm comparing the two. Both of them do have removable aprons, and it looks like the Disney Store version is a little bigger in scale. What do you guys think though? Which one do you prefer? And if you do want me to do a full review of the complete 2007 Disney Store Ratatouille talking action figures, let me know down in the comments and I'll make it happen. So to wrap things up, and just to touch on size real quick, Linguini stands right at 8 inches tall with his hat on, and despite being somewhat tall and lanky, he does stand up surprisingly well on his own, as you can see. And as far as availability, I bought this one and the Nemo set from Amazon just last week for $21. However, they've unfortunately since sold out. They're not there anymore, at least as of this recording, but keep on checking as I'm sure they're going to be back real soon. And I'm also not sure where else they might be available later on, or if it's just going to be on Amazon, but I'll go ahead and update you all through my other social accounts, so stay tuned there. Anyway, final thoughts. I gotta say, it's pretty amazing to finally see a new modern take on some Ratatouille figures, since really, we haven't gotten any figures like this from the film since 2007, so 15 years now. Wow, I feel old. I can't emphasize this enough though. This is a remarkably well done figure. Mattel has worked their magic once again, and I highly recommend picking up this figure if you're any fan of Ratatouille like I am. I've hoped that Ratatouille characters would join Mattel's 7-inch scale line for years now, and I'm amazed not only that it actually finally happened, but also just how fantastic it came out. This figure exceeded my expectations, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the Featured Favorites line has in store. So what other Pixar characters do you think would fit really well in this Featured Favorites line? And then also getting more specific here, what other Ratatouille characters would you like to see get made? As always, guys, I'm looking forward to reading all your comments down below, and if you did enjoy this review, I really hope that you'll consider giving this video a big thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more Pixar toy news and reviews from my personal collection. Don't forget to ring that bell for notifications. Find me all over social media at Dan the Pixar Fan, and I will see you in my next video.